Yo, what's up, guys? Um, Today I'm gonna be talking about being old. I'm old. I was born in the 80s. Um, I've spent the past, well, my whole life working manual labor jobs in kitchens and other things like that. When you get older, your body starts to get all messed up, and you try to find ways to like make stuff easier. And today I'm gonna talk about like one of the main reasons why I fully switched over to Linux and how it relates to like me being old and my health. I'm not the healthiest guy on the planet. I'm not going to pretend like I am, but I do understand ergonomics because I work a job that is fast-paced that requires a lot of muscle memory and repetitive movement. And after years of doing this, it kind of takes its toll. You start to get worn down. And doing stuff like using a mouse when I get home, I can't, man. Some nights I can't hold my hands like that. It's a lot more comfortable and easier for me to just rest my hands on the keyboard than it is to like move a mouse around and do all that sort of stuff. So that's kind of why I fully switched over to Linux because of tiling window managers and keybinds and app launchers and stuff like that. Like got a little app launcher right there. I could just type what I want to what I want to open. um Kind of like two of the occupational hazards I've actually brought up some animated gifs to kind of show you. So these two movements, I have a lot of hours put in on these two movements. um Also doing things like kneading dough by hand. I worked in a Sicilian style pizzeria before COVID. Um, and I would make dough by hand and, obviously stretching pies and whatnot. These type of movements over the a course of time. I mean, if you're a programmer, if you're a coding guy and you're watching this, this type of thing will wreck you. I'm sitting in my chair right now and I'm in so much pain from the night that I had because I had a busy night. I'm in a lot of pain. And the one thing that I am grateful for is not having the mouse pain anymore. My next big thing is gonna be like I'm gonna get a Glove 80, I think. To like help out with this situation. I'm already using trackball mouses, so even when I do use a mouse now, I'm using a trackball, and that helps a lot. Um, yeah, and instead of so for a very long time, a lot of my artwork and stuff I did, I would just click it in with the mouse. I bought a graphics tablet now. That's helping out with that like a ton. Hmm. Oh yeah, but I think I'm gonna get a Glove 80 to add to my journey. One of these bad boys. Yo, look, is that my mouse? Oh no, that's the Logitech version. This is essentially what my setup is gonna end up looking like right here. I'm just like trying to get myself to justify the price of this. I'm sure they're really expensive, like probably like 350 bucks if I had to guess. Which is it's a tall ask, but I think in the long run this is going to help me out even more. And one of the things being is the concave key cup thing and then having the thumb clusters, dude. That's uh that's what's gonna help a lot. So yeah, so switching to Linux, man, you'd be surprised if you're a person that deals with like repetitive stress stuff like I do. This is like, I mean, it's been really great for me. And then also like efficiency too. Like, oh, let's say I want to go to my YouTube channel, like watch. Let's see if it loads up. Oh, hold on. I did the wrong keybind. Forgot I switched. That's like four key presses, and I'm back to my thing. If I want to go into like a file, one, two, three, four, five, or whatever. These are all very fast. If I want to like find some sort of file, I can come in here. There's not a lot of this because when you're using a mouse, right? Like I'll pick up the mouse right here. Like if I'm like, oh, I actually don't have a way to click into anything. But let's say I did a couple click movements and I got to here. Like now I'm gonna be like, okay, I gotta dig into here, and then oh, let's say I'm going to here and I have to go into here, and you're moving, and this is all wrist action, and your wrist bone's connected to your shoulder bone, as they say in medical school. So, yeah, it all kind of translate into shoulder pain for me at least. And ooh, that hurt. I just cracked it a little bit. Um, this has been greatly reduced. A couple of different things I've been doing at work, as well as, obviously all my time on the computer, because I spend basically all of my free time messing around on my computer and reading. Um, but yeah, using the good old Linux for repetitive stress injuries is great. Look at that. See, like, even my I've got like a couple of little, you know, things just to make it short. Less typing, see, you know what I mean? Less things to do. I can get into things very quickly. I know I'm repeating myself. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit, because as I sit here with my shoulder hurting, I remember how much worse it used to hurt. And the other thing I did too is I stopped gaming. Well, I still game, but I use a controller instead of using the mouse. I don't play first person shooters or anything crazy where that really matters. I like games like Stardew Valley and like Core Keeper and Terraria and Minecraft and stuff like that. And most of those, you don't have to use a mouse. Really sweet, actually. Um, I just really wish split keyboards, like split ergonomic keyboards, weren't so expensive. They got the keyboards where they're all like whatchamacallit. You can see them around with a split keyboard, the cheap ones, the ones that aren't good. And I'll explain why they're not good. Alright, let's see. Split keyboards. So, okay, these are the cheapo ones, kind of like this. You can find these for like 30, 40, 50 bucks. Hot swappable, mechanical, blah, 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 right? Maybe not this specific one because it's a Keychron, but they have cheaper, Chinese stuff that's kind of like that. They have stuff like this. Um, but ultimately, the problem that you're gonna run into, and what I run into is stretching your fingers to get to the top rows. It's brutal, man. Especially when you're doing a lot of typing. Sometimes I type, there's some nights I'll type a lot, if I'm chatting with people or whatever. So that's why you want to get the stuff like this. Like you see how this is curved a little bit? You need the curve in there. Now, unfortunately, when you start looking at all the cool curvy boys and this and that, they start getting like dumb expensive. Like this is a cool one. You see those thumb clusters? Those are crazy. Yeah, they start getting hella expensive. Now, I'm gonna say something that'll probably piss people off about this, but I'll explain to you what these things are. Alright, let me pick one that I understand the pricing of. Okay, right here. The Advantage 360. Pretty sure this is like a $500 keyboard. Let's go check. Oh my god, they're really burying the price on here. Yeah, this is about 500, right? Starting at, and then you go in here, and then they have a bunch of options, like, ooh, what electronics do I want? You know, what switches, keycaps you want printed, you want blank, you know. This is a very nice keyboard, by the way. I'm not trashing on it, but let me explain to you what's inside of this keyboard. You have a PCB that with sockets for the hot swappableness. You know, you have the switches you can pop out, you can put different switches in. You know, with switches you have different gram weights to the press. So that is gonna really dictate like how much effort you're putting into your typing. Some people like to be very hard on the keyboard and go, you know, like pull through a china shop. Me, I'm very light. I get the lightest linear switches that I can get. I prefer like a 39, 40 gram press. So, you know, in here they have a couple options like that. These cherry red linears. I'm pretty sure these are like 45 gram presses. You know, I would have to look it up, but anyway, on the inside of here, you have a PCB. The PCB is cheap as hell. They're getting that made in China. They'll probably get a giant mass-produced thing. The outside of it is just plastic, and then these bottom parts that you see right here, these are metal. So that's the only thing of like actual value in it. And then the controller for the, you know, the wireless, the 2.4G or like the, you know, the Bluetooth, but that's basically pointless because this kind of a keyboard, you're not going to be like, this isn't like one of those things where, oh, I'm going to take it with me and this and that. Like, this is a lot to take with you. You're going to have its own bag, you know what I mean? That's like kind of crazy. But this is more like at your home, at your desk situation. When you're out and about, you can just type on a laptop, whatever, no big deal. It's not like you're putting in crazy work. This is more for when you're at home or when you're at your job or whatever, if you have a job when you're using this, right? So they're basically ripping you off because there's not a whole lot to this. They can argue, oh, it's the design, it's this and that. Well, yeah, wait a couple years until some Chinese company figures this out. I think they're starting to pick up on the ergonomics deal. I see a lot of stuff coming out for mouses. So it's like, it's just a matter of time until these boys get cheap. And that's when I'll buy one. I can't justify the $500 on that, bud. Sorry, dude. Anyway, that's just one example. But yeah, you want to look into what you can do. Now they do have these like kits that are like which let me see if I can find one. I think it's like it's similar to this thing. Yeah, these the corn, these ones. One of these, you know, they have shops where they sell these, and people try to sell them for like dumb money. Does it at least tell you what the price is? Anyway, you could build one of these for like well, aside from the 3D printed case for the outside, like the PCB, the switches, and everything, it's like literally like $100. But yeah, that's a whole rabbit hole I'm not walking down. Um, I can solder stuff. Well, here's the other thing too. So these kits, you have to solder the not the switches, but you have to solder the controller into the PCB, and like there's diodes and like random crap you got to solder, right? So you have to invest in some helping hands. You know, the little clamp thingies. You know, it's obviously a soldering kit. You're gonna want to invest in like the little cleaner thing. And then possibly some sort of fan to have this thing, you know, the little bits of smoke and stuff that come off the soldering iron get blown out the window or whatever, right? So that's a whole nother investment on top of it. So at that point, you know, plus like, you know, you mess up a PCB. The PCB is the cheapest, one of the cheapest parts. So like that's not a big deal if you mess up a PCB, but you know, you mess one up, then you got to buy another one. So like at the end of the day, like I'm thinking about it, it's like, yo, it's almost worth it just to like buy one of these, you know, like pre-builts. And then like the mass-produced ones are always going to be kind of in ways they're better, in other ways they're worse. Like they're not going to be the most cutting edge design, but at the same time, it's it's going to be something that if you needed to pick up a replacement and this keyboard is something that you're very much used to, it's easier to have access than you know, these things with like custom PCB bad boys and stuff like this. This is very cool. Yeah, and then you have like this what is this chardis or whatever with the trackball. The trackball is very appealing, very cool. Um, I don't know. I'm just rambling about keyboards at this point, but this is gonna be the next step in me fixing my shoulder. Anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough about this. Uh, Linux has improved my life in many ways, and one of them being uh, medically with my shoulder and my wrists. So, yeah, if you like this video, please like the video, please comment, please share, subscribe, post me in places, post me in weird discords that I don't know about. That's always funny. Uh, what else? We got more videos coming. This was just a quickie little ramble, ramblerino. All right, check your boys later. Peace out.